Hello, hello. We continue to convert measurement units into fractions and fractions of units into specific units, liters, milliliters, grams, kilograms. Let's start. We are starting on page 55. Page 55 of our textbooks. So we are going to solve number 4 and number 5. Let's begin with number 4. There's a lot in here for us to unpack. Express 4.2 liters in liters, in milliliters, meaning break it up, right? So this is not that difficult because the way it's written, we have a whole part. This is your 4 liters and this is your 0.2 liters. We know this is whole 4 liters and 0.2 is 1,000 times more, right? Milli, let's remember from last lesson, equals 1,000 parts, equals 1,000 parts. So we have 200 because 0.2 times 1,000 is 200. Now, next example, we do have some customary units. We have pounds and ounces. And remember, I always tell my students, when it comes to feet, we are always remembering that they're 12 inches to a foot. And when it comes to ounces, another important number is they're 16 ounces to a pound. So let's work with that. 8.75 feet. Well, let's just break it up. We have 8 whole feet and 0.75. Now, 0.75 is 3/4 of a foot. Let's think of it. What is 3/4 of 12 inches? Well, it's 12 divided into 4 equal parts, and take 3 of them, you will get 9 inches. Okay? Express 5.3 pounds in pounds and ounces. Again, we're breaking it into a whole, which is 5 pounds and 0.3 ounces. Now, this gets a little bit tricky. It's important to remember that 0.3 is actually 3/10. 3/10. So think about, what is 3/10 of 16? Well, it's 1.6 taken 3 times, and that is 4.8, or about, we can just say 4.8 ounces right here. So we can just say 4.8 ounces right here. That's perfectly okay. Now, in example number 5, we have few choices here. So let's break them into A, B, C, and D are working with metric. Ooh, I don't like this line. It's not straight enough for me. Are using the metric units. So let's work with them first. 3.45 kilometers is, of course, 3 full kilometers and 450 meters. 2 600ths of a meter is 2 full meters. 600ths is actually 6 centimeters. 4 liters and 5,000. So we have 4 full liters. Notice we're kind of just breaking it like that, right? Into wholes and into fractional pieces. And 5,000ths of a liter is just 5 milliliters. Now, 6.432 kilograms. We have 6 full kilograms. This is your whole, right? And this is your fractional part. And we have 432 grams. Now, when it comes to customary units, things are a little bit not as simple. So let's split E and F. Let's talk about E. We're talking about 5. We're talking about pounds. So we have 4 pounds, right? That's quite easy, 4 pounds. And then we have 0.25. It is much more helpful to represent it as 1/4 of a pound. And what is 1/4 in ounces? 1/4 of a pound is just 4 ounces. Now, 7.5 feet. I hope you realize that we can split it into 7 feet, right? Let's write it down, 7 feet. And 0.5 is actually half a foot. And half a foot is only 6 inches. So it's not that much more difficult. Now, let's take a look at the bottom of the page. We have 55. We have 6 and 7. Now, here it's again, slightly different way of looking at it. Express. Again, we have these words, express, meaning convert. We have to write 145 milliliters in liters. My friends, the way to think about it, 145 milliliters out of 1,000 milliliters, right? Isn't it true that 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters? It means we have 0.145 thousandths of a liter. Next, express 9 inches in feet. Well, we have 9 inches out of 12 inches because 1 foot is actually 12 inches. You see how we have inches on the top, inches on the bottom? So 9/12 of a foot is the same as divide by 3, reduce by 3, and we have 3/4 of a foot. Okay, this is how we're going to continue working. Now notice, we are converting smaller units, meters into kilometers, grams into kilograms. Again, let me draw a line splitting metric and customary units. Here we have milliliters into liters, smaller units into larger units. The way to think about it is, again, let's see, 350 meters out of what? Oh, don't go. Out of 1,000 meters. That would be 0.350 kilometers. Next example, 420 milliliters out of 1,000 milliliters, that's 1 liter, that would be 0.420 of a liter. 625 grams out of 1,000 grams, right? That's a whole kilogram, is 0.625 grams. And 30 centimeters, we're converting into 100 meters, into 100 centimeters, right? It is 0.3 meters. Now, we are working with different units, so let me remove those rainbows. Remove the rainbows just to make it a little bit cleaner. Now, we're working with customary unit. How do we convert 84 ounces into pounds? Well, we know 1 pound is 16 ounces, right? So 16 is 1 pound, 32 is another. So 16 goes into 84. How many times? It's almost 5 pounds, but it's not really, because 5 times 16 is 80. It is 5 pounds. 5 pounds. And 4 out of 16s, which is the same as 5 1/4 of a pound. And we can also write it as 5.25 of a pound. Okay? Now, 42 minutes goes into out of 60 minutes, right? That's 1 hour. And that is just 42 out of 60. Now, that is not that difficult. Let's divide by 6, and it becomes 7/10 of an hour, or 0.7 of an hour. Okay? Now, let's look at number 9. Express. Again, express is the word that just means convert, translate. Express 3 kilograms and 500 grams into kilograms. Now, you see, we have 2 parts, 3 kilos and a fraction, so it's just 3.5. Now, let's take a look again. I'm going to split number C into 2 parts, okay? And we're going to first work with the A, B, C, and D, because that's metric system, and then do E and F, because, let me highlight it. Let's do A and B and C and D first, because that's metric system, right? So look what we have. We have 4 whole meters, right? We have 4 whole meters, right? 4 meters. And then 35 centimeters is just 0.35. So it's 4.35. You can also think of it as 35 out of 100, right? 35 out of 100 centimeters, right? So it's 4.35. 5 kilometers and 90 meters, it is 5. And kilometers into meters, that's out of 1,000 equal parts, right? So it becomes 0.90, okay? And 2 liters, 800 milliliters, well, you can think of milliliters as out of 1,000 equal parts. What fraction is that? It's 2 whole liters and 0.8, 2.8 liters altogether. And now we have 4 whole kilograms, so it's going to be 4 point. And what fraction is this out of kilogram? It's like that, right? So it's 75,000, 0.75. Now let's look at feet and inches. So of course we have whole and we have a fraction. We have a whole and we have a fraction. So it's going to be 3 whole feet and 9 out of 12 inches. That's just 3/4. And if we want to express it as a decimal, it's 3.75 of a foot. And now 3 quarts and 2 cups. Well, let's quickly draw our kingdom of gallon. 1 gallon, and we have 4 queens, right? That's your quarts. And each queen has prince and princess, prince and princess, prince and princess. And inside each prince and 2 cats, cat, 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 and so on. So 3 quarts, of course, we do have 3 full quarts, and then 2 cups is actually a half a quart, right? You see 2 cups right here, it's a half a quart, so it's 3.5 quarts. Okay, I hope you kind of start seeing it. Now, let me erase this doodling. Let me erase this. Now the final exercises we have. Look, express. Again, look at number 11. Look at number 11. Express 3,080 grams into kilograms. Again, look at this. We have 3,000. That's going to be 3 full kilograms. And this is out of 1,000 equal grams. So we're going to have 308. Oh, and by the way, this is exactly how I'm looking. You see how they said, so the answer is, of course, the same, 3.08. Let's practice. Let's practice. We're at the bottom. We're almost at the end of this unit. Again, we have examples A, B, C, D that deal with the metric system. Let's tackle it first. And then we take care of EF that has to do with customary units. So we do have 4 kilometers, right? 4 kilometers and 0.70 thousandths of a meter. We have 2.380 thousandths. We have 5.2 kilograms. We have 6 meters and 500ths of a meter. Now, inches to feet. We know 51 inches. How many times 12 inches, right? Out of 12 inches. Well, 12 times 4, right? 12 times 4 is 48. So we do have 4 feet, 4 full feet. And then from 48 to 51, we have 3/12 remaining. So it becomes 4 1/4, which is the same as 4.25 feet. Now, 88 ounces. Well, out of 16 ounces, right? Out of 16 ounces, let's see. Well, 16 times 5, that is 80. So we will have 5 whole pounds and then 8 out of 16 remaining, which is 5.5, which is the same as 5.5 pounds. So we can say 88 ounces is 5.5 pounds. I hope you find this helpful.